Hello everyone, my name is Najwa Aqimna Fauzi, with ID student 23018115.
Hello, I'm Desya Wanda with student number 220118 and 11.
Hi, my name is Nadhirah Kanahaya. My student ID is 23018113.
I'm Natasya Dwi Putri. My student ID is 23018116.
So today I'm gonna discuss the first materials about cultural differences in Indonesian and Swiss. First one is conversations in different contexts. Context number one is about in a meeting. So, in Swiss, pay attention, take notes, and make eye contact with the speakers. They do that, and they follow the agenda and stay on topic. They don't interrupt or talk to over others, and they wait for their turns to speak, and they present their points clearly and briefly. Indonesians prefer more flexible conversation style, where topics are revisited later. This approach helps avoid conflict and maintain harmony. Once issues are smoothed out, sensitive topics can be addressed again. Now, context number two is during lunchtime. In Swiss, lunch is usually between noon and 2 p.m., sometimes earlier. Conversations cover works, current events, and personal interests. Punctuality and efficiently are important, so lunch breaks might be short, but people still enjoy their meals and chat. Conversations may switch between Swiss German, French, Italian, and Romance, depending on the regions. Topics like skiing and hiking and local food are also common. Indonesians. At lunchtimes, Indonesians often gather to eat and talk. Conversations can be about work, family, current events, and local news. People share stories, updates, and plans for the rest of the day. Food is important in Indonesian culture, so people often discuss the meal taste and preparations. Now, the third context is visiting someone sick. Indonesians, when visiting a sick person, people express empathy and support. They ask about person's health and how they're feeling, and if they need anything. Indonesian culture values warmth and community, so visitors offer encouragement, prayers, and well wishes. It's common to bring small gifts like food or flowers to them. In Swiss, when visiting a sick person, they show concern and support. They wish the person can quick recovery and ask about their health, and then offer help with errands or meals. Swiss culture values empathy and discretion, so questions about the person's conditions are respectful and not too personal. Visitors might share positive stories to lift the person's spirit. So, in both Switzerland and Indonesia, people visiting someone sick show empathy, offer support, and ask about the person's health. They bring small gifts and share positive stories to uplift the person. Visitors also offer practical help and wish the person a speedy recovery. The last context in conversations is about expressing love. In Switzerland, expressing love often involves sincere conversations. People openly share their feelings with affectionate words and gestures. Swiss culture values sincerity, so expressions of love are genuine and meaningful. They might talk about shared experiences, express gratitude, and discuss future plans together. Now, in Indonesians, people use romantic words to show their feelings, like saying "aku cinta kamu," "aku sayang kamu," such like that. Indonesian culture values warmth and emotional connection. So love is shown through caring actions. They might share personal stories, express gratitude, and discuss future plans together.
Hello, I'm Desya Wanda with student number 220118 and 11. Okay, today I will talk about the conduct of social events and compare between Indonesia and Switzerland. The first is eating out. In Indonesia, the culture of eating outside the home, such as in restaurant, hotel, and cafe, or other place to eat. Meanwhile, in Switzerland, the culture of eating out is usually very expensive and the service is good. They usually eating out. Them doing in weekends, special events, and etc. In Indonesia and Swiss culture, the time they celebrate, various groups and individuals eat out based on their habits, social context, and needs, such as with family, work partner, or on a date. They celebrate and happily and enjoy. The second one about wedding party. Weddings in Indonesia are very important, and wedding party in Switzerland tend to be more simple. Usually, many couples choose to stay at home or rent a hotel, building and hall to celebrate their wedding. Weddings in Indonesia tend to be celebrated with attention to holiday, dress session, and certain tradition. Meanwhile, in Switzerland, summer and weekends are most popular time to hold a wedding, with some couple choosing winter for a more unique celebration. Wedding in Indonesia often involve a variety of different traditional traditions and rituals, depending on each region and culture. Wedding in Switzerland tend to be smaller and more intimate than in Indonesia. And the third one about funerals. In Indonesia and Switzerland, a funeral is ceremony or series of rites held after someone dies to honor and send to body to final rest. In Indonesia and Switzerland, burial place and burial practices may vary depending on cultural tradition, religion, and local regulation, such as in public cemeteries, family burials, and others. Traditionally, many cultures in Indonesia, funeral takes place as soon as possible after death. Meanwhile, in Switzerland, such as Christianity or Islam, funeral times may be influenced by their religious teaching. For example, in Christianity, funerals often take place several days after death, allowing time for the family to make ceremonies and other preparation. In Indonesia and Switzerland, those who attend funerals are family, close friends, religious leader, and local community. And the fourth about gatherings. In Indonesia and Switzerland, gathering is a group activity with aim at company or family which is staged as recreational event, which is carried out in place and atmosphere, and is accompanied by several forms of event which aim to build closeness and togetherness between individuals. In Indonesia and Switzerland, gatherings are usually held in hotels, halls, and tourist attractions. Gatherings are usually held once a year, on weekends, and during certain sessions. Indonesia and Switzerland usually do with family, friends, workmates, and etc. Indonesia and Switzerland usually celebrate it by eating together, exercising, picnicking, and telling stories together. And the last one about National Day. National Day in Indonesia refers to the celebration of Indonesian National Day, which is officially referred to as Indonesian Independence Day. National Day in Switzerland refers to celebration of the Swiss National Day, which is officially referred to as Fête Nationale Suisse. Usually during in the morning and afternoon, but in Switzerland there are no specific hours that can be determined for Swiss National Day celebration. Swiss National Day celebrations are usually filled with various events and activities throughout the country, but is not a celebration of independence in the sense with other countries. Usually, they celebrate with firework display, group dinners, and traditional celebration.
Okay, I would like to present next topic about kind and uses of gesture. The first gesture is handshake. A handshake in Indonesia is a common form of greeting, often accompanied by a slight bow and sometimes the touching of the heart with the right hand. It symbolizes respect and is used to acknowledge someone politely. Handshakes are common in formal setting, business meeting, and sometimes in social gathering. A handshake is used during introduction, farewells, and when formal agreements are made. Both men and women perform handshake, so it might be less common for women to initiate them, especially with men. Handshakes are generally gentle and is polite, to use the right hand. Sometimes after the handshake, the hand is brought to the chest as a gesture of sincerity. In Swiss, a handshake is a standard greeting and a sign of respect and professionalism. It is firm and often accompanied by direct eye contact. Handshake occur in a various settings, including professional environment, formal event, and social gathering. Both men and women of all age and social status perform handshake. Handshakes are firm and accompanied by direct eye contact. It is considered a sign of confidence and trustworthiness. Next gesture is nodding. Nodding in Indonesia usually indicates agreement, acknowledgement, and understanding. It is a subtle and respectful way to communicate non-verbal. Nodding is used in a various contexts, including meeting, conversation, and when listening to someone speak. Nodding occurs during conversation, meeting, and presentation. Everyone, regardless of age or gender, uses nodding as a form of nonverbal communication. Nodding is usually subtle and gentle, indicating polite acknowledgement. In Swiss, nodding is similarly used to show agreement or understanding. It is also a way to acknowledge someone's presence or contribution in the conversation. It is used in a meeting, discussion, and during any interaction where acknowledgement or agreement is needed. People of all age and gender use nodding to communicate agreement or acknowledgement. It is more pronounced and can be accompanied by other affirming gestures such as smiling. Eye contact. In Indonesia, prolonged eye contact can be considered rude or confrontational, especially with elder or superior. Brief eye contact is often preferred to show respect and attentiveness. Eye contact is used in conversation, meeting, and social interaction, but often more briefly. Eye contact is used when speaking and listening, but typically in a reserved manner. All individuals use eye contact, so younger people might avoid a prolonged eye contact with elders. Eye contact is brief and often accompanied by a nod or a smile to show politeness. In Swiss, direct eye contact is a sign of confidence, honesty, and engagement. It is an important aspect of communication, especially in professional settings. It is used extensively in conversation, meeting, interview, and presentation. It is used throughout interaction to convey attentiveness and sincerity. Everyone uses eye contact and is expected across all age group and gender. Eye contact is direct and sustained, often paired with facial expression to enhance communication. Kiss on each cheek, or in Indonesia we call it cipika-cipiki. In Indonesia, the practice of cipika-cipiki or kissing on the cheek is usually only done by close friends and family members, and is less common in everyday interaction. When it does happen, it usually involves just a touch of the cheek on each side, often without a kiss and sometimes accompanied by a hug. This form of greeting is more prevalent in urban areas and among the younger generation. In Swiss, a check kiss is a common greeting between friend and acquaintance. It usually involves three kisses, alternating cheeks like left, right, left. The practice is seen as a warm and friendly way to greet others and is widely accepted in the social context. The number of the kisses can vary depending on the region in Swiss, but three kisses is the most common practice. The last gesture is wink. In Indonesia, winking can be misunderstood gesture due to it is relatively rare use in everyday communication. The gesture is typically used in informal setting, often between close friends or in a joking context. Winking may be seen in a urban area, but is generally uncommon in traditional or rural setting. Younger generation may have an easier time using or understanding a wink. It is used to convey a sense of humor, playfulness, or as a nonverbal signal to share a personal understanding or joke. When performed, it involves rapidly closing one eye while keeping the other open, often accompanied by a smile or other facial expression to clearly convey the intended message. While in Swiss, winking is more often recognized and understood as a friendly or pleasant gesture. It can be used in both informal and formal setting, depending on the relationship between the individuals involved. Winking is seen in a variety of social settings, from casual encounters to professional environment, although it remains more common in informal interaction. It is used by a wide variety of people, from friends to colleagues, as a way to convey humor, agreement, or share secret. The gesture is used to convey messages that are light-hearted, teasing, or subtly show mutual understanding or amusement without using words. Similar to the Indonesian context, this gesture involves briefly closing one eye, which is often paired with a smile.
Alright, I will explain about the point number 4, which is about other interesting aspects that I find between Indonesia and Switzerland. First is traffic. Based on the traffic comparison between Indonesia and Switzerland, there is a significant difference in the traffic conditions of the two countries. In Indonesia, especially in big cities, there are often several traffic jams on various highways. That is because many people prefer to use private vehicles rather than using public transportation or on foot. Meanwhile, in Switzerland, traffic conditions are more orderly and efficient. That is because the people prefer to walk or use public transportation. That is because the people prefer to walk or use public transportation. So that the level of congestion in big cities in Switzerland is not as bad as in Indonesia. Second is working hours. In Indonesia, the average working hours are around 40 hours per week, with weekdays generally from Monday to Friday. While in Switzerland, the average working hours are around 28.8 hours per week, so it can be seen that working hours in Indonesia are longer than in Switzerland. Third is traditional foods. Indonesia and Switzerland have their own unique and delicious traditional foods. Some examples of famous traditional Indonesian foods include number 1 is nasi goreng. Nasi goreng or fried rice is white rice cooked with Indonesian herbs and spices. Number 2 is rendang. Rendang is a meat dish cooked with coconut milk and spices. This dish originates from Minangkabau, West Sumatra. Number 3 is satay. Satay is chicken, beef, or goat meat, stewed and grilled, served with peanut sauce or soy sauce. Number 4 is gado-gado. Gado-gado is vegetable salad, served with special peanut sauce. And some examples of traditional Switzerland foods include number 1 is fondue. Fondue is a melted cheese dish served with bread or potatoes. Number 2 is raclette. Raclette is cheese melted and served with potatoes, vegetables, and meat. Number 3 is Zurcherkes nut ziltes, that is thinly sliced beef cooked with cream and sauce. Number 4 is Bircher muesli. It's a blend of oats, fruit, and yogurt. That is a typical Swiss breakfast. Fourth is folk traditions. In Indonesia, there is a rich and diverse range of folk traditions. Some famous folk traditions in Indonesia include: number 1 is traditional ceremonies. Each tribe in Indonesia has its own unique and distinct ceremonies. For example, traditional wedding ceremonies, traditional death ceremonies, and traditional ceremonies to celebrate the harvest. Number 2, cultural festivals. For example, the Wayang Festival in Java, the Lake Toba Festival in North Sumatra, and the Belian Valley Cultural Festival in Papua. While the festival celebrated in Switzerland differ greatly depending on the season and region. Some are based on ancient traditions, while others have emerged only recently. Many of them reflect the agricultural year, such as the arrival of vineyard workers in spring, the ascent and descent of the Alps during the summer months, and the wine festival, just-styled cheese setting, and outdoor childy carnival in fall. That's all from us. Thank you for your attention. We are sorry for our mistakes. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.